Okay, hello, Emily Stovall here. I'm trying a new thing today. We're going live on YouTube. I am not a medical professional. I will not give medical advice. What I will do is work through some guided imagery that helps us process emotions. and if you've been following me for a while, you know how that works. Otherwise, it just works with your subconscious. These images may make sense to you, they may not, but your subconscious understands and allows your body, your physical body, to help process some emotions. So it's not uncommon if you feel the need to cry, please cry. If you feel the need to cough or sneeze or burp, or you get goosebumps, those are all physical chemical reactions that are helping the emotion release from your body. Okay. If you'd like to learn more about me, you can go to www.emilystovall.com, where all of my online offerings are, and some facts about myself, and a bunch of free sessions that I do in different forms. There's written, there's video, there's audio, and there's live, and you can see what works best for you and if we're a match. Okay, so today is March 26th. I had a Facebook memory come up about, I had a picture of all my children making a craft at the table because we were all home because of the shutdown from the pandemic. And it just kind of hit me that this is what I wanted to work on today. I've been sick for the last week and a half. I'm finally feeling human again. But there's still more gunk to detox and process out. So go ahead and take a deep breath. I'm going to help us ground the energy in this session. You can imagine yourself growing roots into the center of the earth. You can imagine yourself standing on solid ground and feeling so safe and comfortable. And we're going to connect with Heavenly Father, God, our Creator. And we're going to cast out the adversary. We're casting out Satan from this process. He cannot hear, see, view, or know who is doing this work today with us. And imagine a tube of light coming down and surrounding you and protecting you and feeling so safe. And that this safety allows us to be honest and real and allow our inner thoughts and feelings to come out. Okay, I'm getting an okay. We're inviting our angels of light to come and help us process this out today. I don't know how long this will be, but I'll try to be respectful of your time. And you can come back and watch at a different time too, if it gets a little longer. But okay, so I'm seeing in my mind's eye, or my third eye, lines and lines of ancestors. And it's interesting because they're like, pull up your bootstraps. That was nothing. You all had shelter, you had electricity, you had running water, you had food, you had all of these things. Maybe not toilet paper, but some ancestors didn't even have toilet paper. It didn't exist far enough back. So it feels really judgy, and it feels like it feels shaming. Like there's a lot of shame in that. Well, why was that even hard? Because we got to just stay home and be comfortable. Asking that shame to kind of filter out of your throat. You can talk it out. You can push pause when this is fully uploaded, and talk it out. Like, why was this shutdown hard? And I'm just going to go off my own experience. Hopefully it resonates with you. And I'm asking the collective energy to give me information on that as well. So we'll hit for you. Also, anything I say or do, you need to check in with your own authority, with God, with the Holy Spirit, with your body and spirit, and see what resonates true for you. I'm not saying that you have to believe anything that I say. You need to be the authority for that. Okay. Where were we? It just totally shut off. Sorry, one second. Okay, I'm repenting a little bit because I'm like, I'm not in charge. God's in charge. But also, I need to relax. It's going to be fine. Okay, so there's feelings of absolute panic, feelings of end of the world, feelings of fear, feelings of unsurety, feelings unsafe, feeling put out. There's anger, there's frustration. And just a general lack of control. Some people still had to go to work during this incredibly scary time and were exposed to other people. Some people didn't have to go to work. Those people lived in same households. It was very unfair. Some people were forced to get a vaccination. Some people were lost their jobs because they chose not to get a vaccination. Like all of these really huge, big pressures that weren't really autonomous. I don't know if that's the right word, but autonomously made. Like it was dictated by something outside of you. You had to do this or this would happen. And so a loss of your power, a loss of control. Okay. And as soon as I said those words, a bunch of ancestors were like, yep. And they were like, shook their heads and then they got out of line and went on their way. They're like, that's all I needed to know. I feel better. Great. That was easy. There's still some really rugged ancestors just staring us down. Can I have an image? Okay, I'm seeing a scene from The Grapes of Wrath. That movie is black and white, the Great Depression. What am I seeing in this image? Okay, I'm seeing a car and it's full of the whole family's belongings and what they could carry in that car. And they chose to get out of the situation. And I'm feeling like we didn't have a choice to get out of the situation. We couldn't travel. We weren't allowed to do this. We weren't allowed to do that. There's a lot of chatter and it's just kind of it feels like a debate in my head and half of them are yelling at this half and this half is yelling at this half and they're just yelling. And so I'm just gonna let them yell for a second. And you can fill in the words that you're feeling come to your mind. I'm just like all of the shock and horror, we're gonna let go right now. It's coming out. It's coming out gently. It's coming out in a scream or a yell. It's still gently to our bodies. You can yell into a pillow. You can punch a pillow. You can just scream. If you're in an area, you can scream and just let it out. But I'm just letting it. It feels like it's almost like bubble foam, like when you put too much soap in your mop bucket and it's covered with this huge pile of foam of soap. They're yelling and screaming, but it's just turning into this bubble foam that's making things hard to see, hard to hear, hard to function. And they're like inhaling soap and coughing. So we're just going to just kind of swipe that all up and out. Good. Yawning is really good. Moving it into another bucket. And we're just going to keep scooping that energy out. My head's starting to buzz like right under my eyes. That's great. We're moving the energy out. And it feels like actually, I don't know if you could tell, but my eyes just kind of dropped because I'm feeling really tired. But it's almost like without the weight of the fluff, the water is somehow heavier in the bucket. And so I'm going to see if I can find a drain that we can open and let go of that water. Oh, we're just under the chin. Good yawning. Oh, we're just letting that drain. You can shake your body, move it, stretch it, or just be still. and imagine this chaos energy draining out of your chin and into a Jesus bucket. It's not getting on your clothes. It's not coming back on your body. It's not coming into your space, right into a Jesus bucket where it's recycled into light. It's not going on your children, not going on your home, straight in the Jesus bucket. Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up, so we're going to go ahead and plug that back in, and it's going to dissolve into light. You no longer need that plug there. And then I'm watching Heavenly Father. He's got like a watering can, and he's pouring his light into our minds and our heads and our thoughts. And it's clear and it's pure and it's distilled is coming to my mind. It's just clear, pure water, but it's almost like it's air. Excuse me. It comes with no weight to it. It feels light, and it feels like almost like helium, excuse me, where it's letting my where it's helping my head rise and like stand up tall and be at good posture. Okay, now I'm going back to the image, and I'm seeing these guys in a car, and they're frustrated because they don't get to go anywhere. There's like a roadblock in front of them. And then since we just did that little other image with the debate and the bubbles, there's an angel, and he's removing the roadblock, and he's allowing them to freely move about their space. So I'm asking if there's anything else we need to address in that before we move on to the next thing. And I'm just filling all of those ancestors that we're able to process and walk away. We're filling them with light backwards, and we're filling our progenitors forward with light that also had that energy we just worked through and removed. We always want to replace it with light, because if you don't, it leaves a vacancy for anything. And we don't want more stress or drama or trauma. We want light. We want healing. Okay, I'm waiting for the thumbs up on that. I'm just going to stretch that out. Okay, that getting a thumbs up. Okay, that's good. Sorry, that's my cold. If you are new to doing this, you will want water with electrolytes, lemon juice, pink salt, electrolytes you can buy at the store. I wouldn't recommend Gatorade or anything with a dye in it. So if you're going to go that route, I know that Propel has no dye in their drinks. There are obviously better options than others, but electrolytes are good when you're processing emotion. Okay. I'm seeing a man, and I don't know how much it matters, but he's got glasses on. He's not clean shaven. He's got like I was going to say 5 o'clock shadow, but it's a little longer, so maybe a 10 o'clock shadow. I don't even know. But it looks like he hasn't shaved for a couple of days, and he's ragged. He looks completely void of life. I don't know if you've seen the TV show Alone, where they go out there and they all end up starving, and before they give up the show, the game. But they just look gaunt. This man looks gaunt and rugged and malnourished and ready to give up. I need to reframe that. He doesn't want to give up, but there's almost like no other choice. He's like, what other choices do I have? And I see him sitting on it's like a cliff, or it's like now I'm seeing the San Francisco I'm seeing a big bridge. And he's up really high and he's sobbing and he's like, I can't do this anymore. Feelings of surrender, feelings of shame, feelings of worthlessness, feelings of useless, feeling despondency, anger, sadness, sorrow, grief. This is really kind of a big energy. Take a few deep breaths, and we're just kind of gathering it in a ball of yarn in the heart space. It's like coming from all over. It's coming from the mind, it's coming from the ears, it's coming from the fingers and feet, it's coming from the stomach, it's coming from the creation center, it's coming from all the chakras, all of the body parts that are trying to continue to perform, but they have no other option. They are lacking nutrition, they're lacking exercise, they're lacking um, uh, their needs are not being met. Okay. So it's like this big now, and I'm just watching it continue to just slowly go around because we're just gently collecting all of this trauma. And this goes back to, Adam and Eve. This is throughout the generations, and it's going to continue to grow. And so let's do a fast forward button on that. And it's like, it's like bigger than me. Now it's bigger than this room. Now it's bigger than the state of Utah. And now it's the size of the world. So this includes all of these emotions, like from Cain and Abel, from world wars, from famines, from plagues. Yep. It's big energy. Take a few more deep breaths. And we're just going to invite Jesus in. And he's going to stand next to this big, huge ball of yarn. And he looks, you can't even see him because it's the size of the world, but he's there. And he looks at you and he just says, thank you. Thank you for being willing to let this go. I have already taken care of it. And as soon as he touches the bottom of that earth of yarn, it like immediately like connects and like strings into him. And I'm watching it on super fast forward and it just shrinking, all the way down. Now it's the size of my head, and now it is gone. I want you to take a deep breath and like audibly blow that out so hard. Try and blow the screen away from you. We're just letting that energy go and do one more. And then it has disappeared into the Savior, and now he is asking to hold your hand. So you can literally hold out your hand and imagine him placing his in yours. Or if you can't do that, you can imagine him placing his hands on your head or hugging, or if you just can see light, allow that to enter let the light enter your body, whether through it's your hand, your head, your heart. Just allow Christ's light to enter. And for me, I'm watching it go up my arm and like just permeate my whole body. And it's kind of like when you put Dawn dish soap into a water thing filled with some oil cooking grease, whatever, and you see it dissipate, it's creating cleanliness within your soul, in your body and your spirit. And so all of that oily residue is going on the edges. And I don't know how to explain this better, better, but it's almost like there's angels with ice cubes and paper towels, like getting all of the fat off the edges, sort of a thing, or the grease. But it's just happening. I don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. The angels are just, and Christ light is just completely cleansing your body and your spirit. So just sit here for a moment and you might have events come to mind. You might have feelings come up. You might feel a certain emotion strongly. Go ahead and take some deep breaths and just allow it to move through you. I'm imagining all of the yucky stuff being pushed down and out through my feet by this light. It is not painful. It is easy and gentle. And it's kind of like a squeegee when you're mopping or pushing water toward a drain. I have all these examples today. Anyway, I'm just watching the angels taking it out, and then they're squeegeeing it down the drain and through my feet and out into the earth. And the earth will renew everything we put into it. All the garbage we give the earth, it creates and renews and brings life. And that is part of our life cycle. That's what all connects us together with the earth. Okay. That feels complete to me. If you're feeling a little anxious or frustrated, or something in your body's pinging off, like you suddenly feel some pain in your shoulder or in your knee, um, you can come back and rewatch this, or you can simply push pause and you can scribble, you can do some jumping jacks, you can do some massaging on the body part that's in pain with the intention of moving that stuck energy out. And all you have to do is call on the name of Jesus and it will go away. Um, and you might have another idea in your mind of what to do next. Like, oh, okay, thank you. I feel like I need to stretch out my knee now. So then please go and stretch out your knee. And, or you might feel like, oh, I think I need ice would probably help. Put the ice on the knee. So part of the give and take of personal revelation is listening and then taking action. Because if you don't take action, you're not getting the result you want, because the faith takes action. So please follow your intuition and your impressions. Okay, but I'm feeling really good, so hopefully you are feeling really good. I'm going to process this image of my kids at the table making crafts. I'm not going to post it. I don't like having their faces on the internet as much as anymore as I used to before. You know, it just keeps getting a little weirder. So I had 4 kids home at the time. They were all in school, so they were all now home. And we were able to do Walmart pickup. So we got some construction paper and some wiggly eyes and some glue and some glitter, trying to make the best of a really scary situation. And my second oldest daughter was in charge. She said, we're going to make jellyfish. And so we sat at the table. Actually, I think I was working full time as a special ed teacher. So I was like on my computer all day long, trying to figure out how to create a classroom, trying to figure out how to keep my students HIPAA stuff separate. I had no idea what I was doing. So thankfully, my children really did have to step up and step in to help each other. And I'm feeling a lot of guilt and shame for that. Like, I wish I would have just been like, hey, this is the first time. I'm not going to get it right. I'm not going to be perfect. These are my hours. This is the time I'm going to work on it. And then, be with my family. And I didn't. I thought, I'm going to do this right. My family can take care of itself because I'm being paid to make sure these children are educated. And, we didn't have any formal training. We did the best that we could, but also it would have made a bigger difference if I was there for my family than it did for these children who often, it wasn't a great resource. The special education is not an online course, um, in my opinion, my humble opinion. So anyway, their takeaway was not big because I didn't know what I was doing. And my family would have been very blessed had I had my priorities in order and not let the fear rule me of not doing a good enough job as a teacher or getting fired or not getting paid. Um, we all do this. It's okay. I'm not mad at myself per se, but looking back, I can see where I wish I would have done a different thing. I'm grateful for the experience because now I know I can do better. And that's all what life is about. But anyway, back to this. The feelings coming up are shame, anger, frustration, and it's mostly pointed at myself. Nobody was standing over my shoulder saying, "Well, you better do this." They were all trying to figure out their own crap. um, it anyway, okay. I have some problems with this. So we're working through them, and I appreciate you sitting here, and something hopefully will resonate with you. So guilt, shame, fear, not looking good enough. So there's some pride in there. Um, frustration for lack of support from my family, which is today seems really ridiculous because hello, everybody was in crisis mode and their children. And my husband was still working and had to work because he was the main breadwinner. Anyway, irrational but real feelings. Okay, what else is in there, Emily? I don't want to see it. We're going to see it. There's a lot of sorrow. I am trying so hard and nobody cares. Looking back, they didn't care because that wasn't the most important thing, probably, but it really hurt my heart. And okay, so we were adding sorrow. What else? I'm a type A person, so I need a checklist. And the feelings I'm getting is that I didn't have a checklist I could really check off. Like there were not enough parameters for me to really know what I was doing. And so there's frustration and not being able to know what I'm doing or know what I'm supposed to be doing. And that is, what is the word? Oh gosh, what is that word? Does it matter? No. Okay. So it doesn't matter. But the general frustration of feeling like paralyzation of like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how to move forwards. Okay. So yeah, it's like fight, flight, fawn, or freeze trauma response. So I feel like I was doing them all at the same time, which I don't think is humanly possible. But my nervous system went through a whole bunch of stuff, as did everybody's during that. Okay, so what can I do with this big pile of emotion? It looks like a vomit bucket that's been used. It's disgusting. Um, and it's like, well, I don't want it. Why is it still here? What else do we need to do? Okay, so I want you guys to speak your feelings of how you felt during that time. Just in your house by yourself. If you can do it in your head, great. If you can do it out loud, it's always better to bring in multiple senses. I'll just be quiet for a minute. Okay, we're just allowing it to process up and out of the body, out of the soul. There's a burp like right here. I'm going to try and be very quiet. Good. Excuse me. So touching right here, there's a little bit of curse energy, and it just looks like a weapon. Curse energy is targeted negative energy. It can be self-inflicted. It can be from a coworker. It can be from a total stranger in a store or on the road. It could be from a spouse. It could be from a coworker. Um, excuse me. It's as powerful as we give it power. So I believe curse energy to be frivolous and easy to remove. And that makes it easy to remove. So I'm just saying it's like a black melted record, but it's only like this big, like the size of a 50-cent piece, and it's covering the throat. So it looks like it's under the throat chakra. So almost like what you're feeling in your heart, you're not able to communicate out through your words. So the honesty um, of what you're truly experiencing is like caught all in here. And it's like the heart is like, oh, I can't communicate. And it feels inflamed, it feels angry, and it feels like it's like high blood pressure, like it's pumping super hard to try and get past that curse energy. So we're just going to take that curse energy out. So safely throw it in the puke bucket. It's also a Jesus bucket. And it like dissolves like the puke is acid, and it's just, that's really gross, and I apologize, but that's what I'm seeing until it is nothing. And then I'm going to energetically reconnect the pathway from the heart to the throat, the chakras, the blood vessels, the emotional pathways, the meridians. Again, yawning is good. It allows chemical reactions in the body to process emotions out. That feels so much better. And I like my throat is actually draining a little bit because I have a cold. That feels much better. I can breathe better. Asking for a divine download to come down to my head and my throat and my heart about how to communicate to each other honestly, how to meet the needs, physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental, of these areas in our bodies. And you can imagine that like a computer download or like a system update. And I'm just seeing like the loading sign, like loading, loading, buffering. Yeah. And then download complete, the thumbs up there. You can place your hands on your heart and just breathe that in. That feels much better. I am feeling, I don't know if this makes sense, but I'm feeling a little emptier, like where before I felt kind of oppressed and pushed down. Right now I'm feeling light and lifted. It doesn't mean the experiences didn't happen. It doesn't mean it didn't count. It doesn't mean that it's gone necessarily. It means that it's been processed. So everything is recorded. God knows everything that went on, everything that you felt, everything that you did, didn't do. Uh, you know, we tend to store it in our bodies to be like, well, this is why this happened this way, until God our stories. But allowing the emotions to process allows us to not carry it in our bodies, which in turn, like detoxing the body from heavy metals, helps it heal and function better. Detoxing the body from emotions that are stagnant and oppressive helps the body to heal and function. So that is awesome. I'm asking if there's anything else we're going to work on today, and I've got to know. So usually in my sessions, when I finish up, even if you don't hear it on the recordings or whatever, I imagine white light coming down like a shower. It's God's light, and it's going over my body and in and throughout my body. And it's kind of like a magnet where it pulls anything negative or ready to release at that time. Like my body no longer needs it to be inside of the body. So Like if it picked up on an emotion I didn't speak out during the session, like there was regret in there, and the light came through my elbow and picked it right up and took it out through my feet. I don't have to know every emotion I felt. I don't need to go through each one. I don't need to label them. I don't need to attach them to an event. The Lord just heals us. When we are ready to heal, He will heal us. And so showing up today and listening to this is an effort you have made, and the Lord magnifies that. And so this white light at the end is like the best shower energetically, because things we didn't even talk about can leave your body. And so just bask in that little shower of light. Let it, imagine it going all the way down to your toes. And I'm seeing like chunks of trash in my toes, and we're just letting them go out and into the earth for recycling until the light gets all the way to my feet and fills my toes. And we might need a nap, but okay. Okay, and now I'm just gonna manually ground. If you are comfortable doing that yourself, go ahead. This allows us, a lot of times our bodies and souls aren't, or our bodies and spirits aren't necessarily together. So when we've experienced trauma, our spirit likes to hang out like to the side of our body, or be half in the body or all the way out of the body and just kind of hovering around. This is like trauma response. And so when I'm grounding today, we're just telling the spirit that it is a safe place to be in the body. And if the spirit does not agree, it does not have to ground. But something you can do is step barefoot onto grass. You can run your feet under warm water, or even just your hands under warm water. That helps ground. If you have grounding sheets, you can stand on that, or a mat. Things that make you feel calm, listening to music. People ground in many different ways. It's not just growing roots into the center of the earth. So do what feels best for you. I'm going to manually ground to the extent that you are comfortable grounding, and hopefully bring you a little more peace today. So I'm just witnessing that. That feels much better. And again, there's no pressure to totally ground. You are safe and you are loved. Okay, that feels complete. Thanks for being with me live today. And for being on this journey with me. I appreciate it. I hope you have a beautiful day. Remember to hydrate, electrolytes, and rest. Love ya.